For this week's episode of SmackDown, the stage, the entrance ramp, and the arena looked absolutely amazing. The huge entrance LED screen looked insane, like it was massive. The crowd was really lively and active. The crowd was singing some of the superstars' entrance music, like Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton's entrance. They were singing along to that. It sounded and looked amazing. This was surreal. And even when John Cena came out, the crowd popped like crazy. When CM Punk came out, the crowd popped like crazy. This was absolutely surreal. But with all that being said though, this go home show was absolutely mid. Aside from like 2 matches and 1 great segment, this show was mid. Before we get into review though, it was announced that SmackDown is officially going back to the 2-hour format. Starting next week, SmackDown will officially be going back to 2 hours. And I'm hoping this means we get better shows, better content, better stories, better everything, and less filler, less garbage, less ads. That's what I'm hoping for. But anyhow, though, let's get into this review and breakdown of. So we started off with a Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes in-ring promo. This promo was solid, but Cody Rhodes' part was a bit weak and was not as passionate or hard-hitting as it should be. So let's get into this promo. Randy Orton comes out, Cody Rhodes comes out first, and Randy Orton interrupts him. Randy Orton says that this past Monday, Cody Rhodes versus Jey Uso was amazing and should be considered for match of the year. Cap. That's absolute cap. It should not be considered for match of the year. It was pretty good, but it's not anywhere near match of the year. Randy Orton says that Cody Rhodes wants the King of the Ring crown, but Randy needs the crown. Cody Rhodes wants it, but Randy needs it. Randy Orton says that he needs the King of the Ring crown. The crown will be redemption for him. It will be retribution for him. John Cena embarrassed him in front of the fans and his friends and his family. Randy Orton says that he has to get back at John Cena for that. Randy Orton says that there is not a thing that he's not willing to do to make sure that he leaves Saudi with the King of the Ring crown on his head. There's not a single thing he's not willing to do. He's willing to do anything and everything to leave with the crown. Cody Rhodes then gets on the mic. He says that John Cena did not embarrass Randy Orton because between Randy Orton and John Cena, they have 30 plus combined championship reigns. And I'm like, that's irrelevant. This man said he was embarrassed because of what John Cena did. He was embarrassed. What are you talking about the championship reigns for? The amount of championship reigns you have doesn't mean you can't be embarrassed. That was just stupid. But whatever though. He says that he is grateful and thankful for Randy Orton, but he needs the crown just a little bit more than Randy Orton. And he says that at Night of Champions, Randy won't be the King of the Ring and Cody will be leaving the King of the Ring. And that's how the promo ends. Cody's part was a bit weak, but it's whatever. Then we got on to our first match of the night. It was Jimmy Uso versus JC Mateo, aka Jeff Cobbs. This match was alright. Nothing crazy though. It was alright. It was there. Some highlights from this match was that JC Mateo hit a standing moonsault. Jimmy Uso hit the Uso in the wind, a top rope corkscrew on JC Mateo. Jimmy Uso hit a suicide dive. JC Mateo catches Uso off the top rope and hits him with the Tour of the Island, his finisher for the win. Solo tried to convince Jimmy Uso to join him, and he was doing that throughout this whole match. He was ringside, but after the match ends, Solo gets in the ring. He tries talking to Jimmy Uso to convince him to join his group. Jimmy Uso slaps Solo Sikoa. Then he gets jumped by Solo and JC Mateo. Jacob Fatu's music hits. Jacob Fatu comes running out to the ring. He rescues Jimmy Uso and he absolutely destroys JC Mateo. And that's how that segment and that match ended. And then we got to our Zelina Vega versus Julia match. Before this match started though, they showed like the same video package from Julia, and I felt like that was lazy on WWE's part. Like, get something new. They showed the same video package from Julia, and I'm pretty sure they showed the same one from Zelina Vega as well, or that might have been a new one, but it was like basically the same stuff. They just kept showing reruns at this point, like old replays. It was the same stuff, and I'm like, why are you showing the same thing over and over again? Like, just get to the match. Nobody cares about it anyway. Just get to the match and get it over with. But anyhow, though, we got Zelina Vega versus Julia for the Women's United States Championship. This match was pretty alright, nothing crazy. Julia is iffy in the ring from like what I can tell from her matches I've seen. Her strikes look mediocre and uncoordinated, and it seems like her move set doesn't fit her character, doesn't fit her in-ring ability. I don't know, something just seems off with her. Anyhow, though, some highlights from this match. Zelina Vega hit a top rope moonsault onto the outside area on Julia. Vega hit a Meteora on Julia into the steel stairs. Vega hit a top rope Meteora. Julia hit a top rope underhook DDT on Zelina, which looked pretty impressive and pretty crazy. And then near the end of the match, Julia hit some terrible looking knee strikes and hit a goofy looking Northern Light drop on Zelina Vega for the win. And she became your new Women's United States Champion. After this though, we got an in-ring promo from Jade Cargill and Asuka regarding their Queen of the Ring match, which is going to be tomorrow, or today actually, because it's already Saturday where I'm at anyway. But anyhow though, Jade gets on the mic. She says, when people see Asuka, they get nervous. But when she sees Asuka, she sees an opportunity to show why she's here and why she belongs in the WWE. She not only plans to win the Queen of the Ring crown, but she plans on taking it all, the whole damn thing. Asuka gets on the mic, she says, "You may have strength, but power is not everything. I have skill, I have experience. Do you know who I am? I am Asuka, and nobody is ready for Asuka." Sorry for the terrible impression, but anyhow, Asuka and Jade Cargill then brawl a little bit after the promo segment ends. Naomi did come out. She said something. I don't remember what she said. I think she just hinted at cashing in and telling everybody to proceed with caution. Something along those lines. And then Asuka and Jade Cargill brawl after the promo segment, and Jade Cargill gets laid out by Asuka. After this, though, we got an R-Truth segment. R-Truth interrupted Aleister Black. Aleister Black was talking to GM Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce, and out of nowhere, R-Truth comes in. He asks the GMs if they saw what John Cena did to him last week. R-Truth says that he wants his lick back on John Cena. And the GMs proceed to tell R-Truth that John Cena isn't here for you. He's here for CM Punk. Truth says, "You know what? Don't even worry about it, because I'm here for John Cena." And he walks out of the GM's office, hinting that maybe there's going to be an altercation between him and Cena, but there wasn't. After this little segment, though, we got our third match of the night, which was Rey Fenix and Andrade versus DIY. It was a tag match just cause, no stipulation, no story behind it, no nothing. It was just a match thrown on the show. But with that being said, though, this was actually a really good match, a really entertaining match. There was a lot of "this is awesome" chants throughout this match, and this was, for me, match of the night in-ring wise. Not the match of the night overall, but in-ring wise, this was the match of the night. So some highlights from it is that Fenix and Andrade hit a double top rope crossbody on DIY, both Gargano and Ciampa. Rey Fenix hit the Adios Amigo on Ciampa. Andrade catches Gargano, who was trying to do a slingshot spear. He catches him mid-air and turns it into an elbow drop, an elbow face drop thing. It looked pretty impressive. I don't even know what that move's called. Then Rey Fenix hit a middle rope suicide dive flip onto Ciampa on the outside area. Gargano hit a poison rana on Fenix. Ciampa hit his Project Ciampa finisher on Rey Fenix. Fenix and Andrade hit both of their finishers on Tommaso Ciampa for the win. And I'm pretty sure Andrade pinned Tommaso Ciampa for the win. After this match, though, we got another segment from R-Truth, but this time it was an in-ring promo. R-Truth comes out. He says, "I am R-Truth. I am Ron Killings. I am R-Truth. I am the truth and nothing but the truth. Put some respect on my name." He says, "John Cena, what you did, I'm not going to let it slide. I won't let it ride, so get out here." And while Truth is in the middle of talking and calling John Cena out of nowhere comes Aleister Black, and he attacks R-Truth from behind and hits R-Truth with the black mask, his finisher, and he leaves R-Truth laid out. We then got a pretty cool altercation backstage where it was Aleister Black and Damian Priest, and Damian Priest was basically warning Aleister Black to watch out, because if he has a problem with Truth, don't sneak attack him, face him head on, face to face. Aleister Black would be surprised with the result, or R-Truth would beat him up. That's basically what Damian Priest says. After this, though, we got another tag team match. It was the Street Profits versus the Wide Six. It was a tag team championship match, and I was really excited for this. I was looking forward to it, and I got disappointed, honestly, because this match started off really entertaining, and it out of nowhere ended by disqualification because a bunch of tag teams were out ringside and they decided to get involved and ruin the whole match by attacking the active competitors. And I'm like, what's the purpose of this? Like, we couldn't just get a solid, good, entertaining tag team championship match? Like, why did it have to get ruined or get finished by disqualification? I'm like, come on. We barely even get to see that championship get defended, and when we do see it get defended, it gets a disqualification finish. That's like, it's stupid, it's goofy. But anyhow, though, this match broke out into an all-out brawl. Everyone just started attacking everyone. The brawl was really entertaining, though. We had like high-flying moves, stuff like that. Every tag team was fighting each other, so it was pretty entertaining, but I'm still mad at the finish. There's not much to say after that, though. It was a tag team championship match that ended in disqualification, and the Street Profits retained due to disqualification. After this tag team match, though, we got, by far for me, the match of the night overall. It was the Nia Jax. Surprisingly, Nia Jax, that's crazy, huh? Anyhow, it was Nia Jax versus Tiffany Stratton in a last woman standing women's championship match. This match was really entertaining. We got a lot of spots, a lot of weapons, and cool moments. This was match of the night for me overall, like I said. So the match started off with Nia Jax absolutely dominating Tiffany Stratton. She sends Tiffany Stratton flying into the steel stairs. Nia Jax then proceeds to Samoan drop Tiffany Stratton onto the announcer's table. Tiffany Stratton hits a top rope swanton dive onto Nia Jax. Jax. Nia Jax hit an off the apron splash on Tiffany Stratton, smashing her through a table. Nia Jax attacks Tiffany Stratton with a kendo stick. Tiffany Stratton sends Nia Jax flying into the big LED screens, which look pretty cool. The LED screens started glitching out and everything. Nia Jax put a steel chair on Tiffany Stratton and hit her finisher, the Annihilator, from the top rope, which looked pretty cool. Tiffany Stratton powerbombed Nia Jax through a table. Naomi came in the middle of the fight, like near the end. She comes in and she tries to cash in, and the referee does that dumb thing where he's like, "Are you sure you want to cash in?" And Naomi's like, "Yeah." And then the referee keeps holding the championship. He's like, "Come on, think about it. Is this what you really want to do?" And then like he holds it for a minute longer than he should have, instead of just cashing it in. And we obviously know from that she's not actually gonna cash in. But anyhow, the referee does that little goofy thing, and while Naomi is arguing with the referee to cash in her briefcase, Tiffany Stratton takes advantage of it. She attacks Naomi, takes the briefcase. She hits Naomi with the briefcase, hits Nia Jax with the briefcase. Then she hits the prettiest moonsault on Nia Jax. Nia Jax gets up. She's not down for the 10 count yet. Tiffany Stratton then gets Nia Jax onto the apron. She hits Nia Jax in the face with a briefcase and sends Nia Jax falling through 2 tables that were set up on the outside area. So Nia Jax goes from the apron and falls through 2 tables, which looked really good, and Tiffany Stratton ended up retaining. And these were some of the spots. There was a lot of crazy spots in this match. This was just the highlights for me. I would really recommend you watch it because it was a really good match, in my opinion. But after that, though, we got to the main event, and it was the promo segment of the night. It was John Cena and CM Punk's in-ring promo. Now, this segment was silly, and I enjoyed every second of it. Anyhow, though, let's get into what happened in this promo. The crowd popped crazy for John Cena. Like, the crowd went crazy when Cena came out. Cena gets on the mic. He doesn't say anything new or anything like too impressive. This was mainly like CM Punk responding to what John Cena did last week. Cena gets on the mic. Cena says, "Get used to it, because this is what a winner looks like. This is what a real champion looks like. CM Punk is a loser. He's been cornered, and there's nothing he can do about it." And out of nowhere, CM Punk comes out with John Cena's Dr. Thugonomics character. His John Cena's Thugonomics Word Life character. He comes out with a theme song, the attire, and everything. And this was really entertaining and really funny. We got Punk Life before GTA 6. So CM Punk comes out with John Cena's Word Life Dr. Thugonomics gimmick, and he called it Punk Life, and the crowd actually cheered for CM Punk. The crowd went crazy for CM Punk. I thought he was gonna get, booed for what he did and what he said, but no, the crowd were actually really on his side. So CM Punk gets on the mic. CM Punk says, "Check it. This is basic Punkonomics. This fool plagiarized my promo, my pipe bomb, so I took his character. He's mad because everyone sees him wrestling in slow-mo. John Cena buried more stars than The Undertaker. John Cena sold out to be a champion." And CM Punk said, "I would be mad too if WWE hired my ex back into the company," hinting at Nikki Bella. CM Punk then says, "When it comes to being the best in the world, I'm a vessel. When it comes to you, they chant, 'You can't wrestle.'" And if you can't tell by now, CM Punk was basically just rhyming and rapping throughout this whole promo. It was silly, it was goofy, but I really did enjoy it. CM Punk then says, "Cena will be gone in the next 6 months. I will still be here. I will still be entertaining the fans. But John Cena's too good for us. He'll be in Hollywood. Everyone can see you now, and we're all looking at a washed up bum." He says, "John Cena, you're a leech. You even tried stealing my pipe bomb. You're a leech. You're a fraud. You're a phony. John Cena, before you go, there's one more wish to make." Like, make a wish? "Tomorrow night, you're going to lose to Kendrick because you're my Drake." CM Punk then drops the mic. He does a mic drop moment. And like I said, this was really funny. It was silly, and I enjoyed every moment of it. And that's how the show ends. With that CM Punk promo, that's how it ends. CM Punk does a mic drop, and that's how it ends. So overall, this week for SmackDown, I would rate this week's episode a solid 6.5 out of 10. I enjoyed some parts of it, but let me explain why I rated it, 6.5 out of 10 instead of something higher. Even though we got a good promo, I glazed John Cena's pipe bomb. I'm not going to do the same thing for this CM Punk promo. I felt like if CM Punk came out and did like a promo in his actual voice, actual character, would have hit harder. But this was a lot more entertaining, so I'm not going to complain about that. But anyhow, though, to break down why I rated it 6.5 out of 10, it's because we only got 2 good matches on this show and 1 good promo. Everything else was literally just to fill up the time. Everything else was literally time filler. And, that has to reflect in my rating, I can't give a show that only had 2 good matches and 1 good promo anything higher than like a 6 or 7 out of 10. Like, respectfully. That's why it's a 6.5 out of 10 for me. If we got more good matches and more good promos, this show would have definitely been way higher. It would have probably been like an 8 out of 10 damn near. But since we only got like 2 good matches, like I said, and 1 good promo. That's why I can only rate it a 6.5 out of 10. And the 6.5 out of 10 was because of like literally John Cena and CM Punk's last promo. That boosted it up a little. And like Nia Jax's match versus Tiffany Stratton in the Rey Fenix and Andrade versus DIY match. Those are literally the only things that boosted it up to that. Everything else was pointless, useless, and just time filler, you know? So anyhow, though, this week's episode of SmackDown, the Go Home Show, I would rate it a 6.5 out of 10. But anyhow, that's my review and that's my breakdown for this week of SmackDown. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. Like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to. And like, comment, and subscribe if you choose to. As always, it's been a pleasure. I'm out.